What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be talking about firearms that people think are outdated, irrelevant, obsolete, because I hear it all day long. And yes, I'm on the internet, so I'm open to criticism and comments and trolls, but I also like to make videos in response and try and explain it and, try and allow you guys to understand my thought process behind a lot of my firearms, right? The main thing is, people always say, get a full-size firearm. Why do you have such small firearms? Guys, my main thing is making sure I'm protected at all time and getting very good with the firearms that I'm passionate about, because that passion in return becomes being passionate at the range, being passionate when it comes to cleaning, maintaining my firearms, being passionate when it comes to showing you guys great options out there, and so on. So it is what it is. People can say what they want. It's not going to change what I carry. It's not going to change what I do. I don't care if a company was offering me money to, promote their product and say their firearm's better. That wouldn't happen. I like what I like, and it is what it is. Now, before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you carry today, what kind of holster, what kind of ammo, and hit that subscribe button. And I also want to say thank you for a video I made a while ago talking about some firearms I got rid of and stuff. You guys were absolutely great. You killed it. You guys did tons of comments, gave me little donations here and there, but it means the world to me, and I appreciate stuff like that because I'm really passionate about this channel and just firearms in general. If you knew me in real life, you would realize this is no joke. It's not a fake. This is what I do. This is what I focus on. This is what I learn. I still work full-time, but I spend a lot of time gathering info to bring back to you guys. But in front of me, you're going to see a pattern, right? And it's a pattern of firearms that you see a lot of people talk down on. For one, single stacks. Here, low capacity. Here, budget firearms. Here, subcompacts that are thick. Right? Those are all firearms I'm sure you guys have seen videos on just this year talking down on, right? And then the way I look at it is, how could a firearm that is reliable and functions and you shoot good, how is that outdated? How is that obsolete because something new came out, right? It just is what it is. And I get why people go towards the hype, because there's a lot of marketing that almost brainwashes you into thinking, oh my gosh, is my Glock 43 going to be good enough with an 8+1 setup? And they almost doubt you with your skills, doubt you with your proficiency, almost make you feel like, okay, I'm not good enough because I don't have enough rounds. It should really come down to how trained you are, right? And that's what I say. I'd rather have you have a $400 pistol as your main carry and spend an extra $600 on training, classes, ammo, and so on, versus having a $1,000 carry firearm. But the main criteria for it is it reliable? 2, are you passionate about it? Are you going to carry it? This was my pocket carry for 3.5 years, FN503. And it was my work carry. It was my designated work carry. I get up in the morning, throw it in an appendix holster. Second I got to work, it goes in my Vetter pocket locker holster, right? And that's how I carried it. It got covered in moisture. It got covered in dirt, glue, primer, rocks, little pebbles, all sorts of stuff that would fall in your pocket. Wood shavings made it into this firearm. On top of that, I have dropped it while training. It's actually been hit by a car, which I've gotten into in other videos. The whole entire internals look beautiful, right? Obviously, there's a lot of wear and tear from shooting it, but the internals look great. It's all cleaned up, but the outside tells a story. And it tells a story of a firearm that I trusted by my side, 6+1 of 9mm. And I didn't necessarily just say, oh, this is a great firearm. It's made by FN, I'm going to trust it. No, I put this thing through the ringer. I always tell this story because I think it says a lot about this firearm. So after about a year of pocket carrying, I actually got a little lazy about cleaning my pocket firearm, right? And we went to my aunt's house, who lives on a tree farm, a Christmas tree farm. And I'm like, I need to check this thing out and make sure it runs. I loaded up with ball ammo and just ran it without cleaning it for 3 weeks. And if you see my pistol after 1 day of pocket carry, 3 weeks is a disaster, right? And what happened? It ran. Through another mag in, it ran. What was happening while shooting? Dust, little pebbles, sawdust. I mean, I kid you not, I had smoke coming from everywhere, or clouds of dust coming from everywhere on the firearm, and the smoke coming from the end of the firearm. It was absolutely amazing to watch. But you know what this thing did? It shot. It ran. And you know what that told me after that? Holy crap. If I have a firearm that can get that dirty and run, if I keep this thing clean, there's going to be not a single issue with it. What did I do then? Tested defensive rounds with it. Then I made sure those are my designated carry rounds with it. And absolutely amazing how it held up. No rust, nothing. It just has a lot of character to it, and I actually think it looks pretty cool. But this thing was absolutely amazing. But you know what I heard the most about it? Oh, that's obsolete. That plays no role in today's market because of stuff like this right here. And so what I said to people is, how does that make sense? I promise you this could probably outlast a majority of the new firearms they're putting out. I promise you. And I told them that when it comes down to it, what matters to me is if I feel comfortable with it and if it runs when I need it to. And this FN503 proved it over and over again. I shot it in like negative 30-degree weather outdoors in the middle, right next to a lake with the wind blowing, and it ran. And that's how I feel about a lot of these, right? My Glock 43, this is one of the most tested firearms now in the civilian market, right? The Glock 43 has been carried by a lot of people. It's still carried by a lot of people. And on top of that, it has Glock's reliability and Glock's overall backing, which you know it's going to be reliable. And that's exactly what this thing has been. So 8+1, is that now obsolete because there's a 10+1 firearm about the same size? No, it's not, right? And honestly, this thing will never rust. This thing won't cause you issues. This thing will be there for you when you need it. Just like the Walther PPS M2. This is one of the greatest handguns that I own. And it's because it just eats everything and handles recoil well, and I love the trigger on it. And I know this thing is going to go bang when I need it. All these firearms are so cheap because of stuff like this. I mean, you can get this for $420 now. You can get the Walther for $350, the CZ for $229 on Palmetto State Armory. This thing handles recoil like an absolute beast for its size. It's snag-free, designed for pocket carry, metal sights, an amazing CZ finish, a trigger that really loosens up on 250, 300 rounds, 500 rounds, whatever the case may be. This is an absolute beast of a pocket pistol, 7+1 and 9mm. Put some good defensive ammo in it, you will be fine. 82% of all self-defense encounters, not one round is shot. That other 18% is a round letting go, right? But majority of the time, it's up close and personal. You're not dumping 15 rounds. And I always understand the saying, oh, you can never have too much ammunition, right? I get that. But at the same time, for me, it's my training over my ammunition. If I'm missing 8 shots of 9mm, if I'm missing 9 shots or 9 shots, that's a problem. If I can't put a threat down in 9 shots, and I get if there's multiple attackers and stuff like that, but that's where staying out of certain areas comes into it. That's where keeping an eye on things comes into it. That's where being smart at gas stations, being smart how you move, being smart where you go, being smart what time you go to places. That will play a massive role in just allowing these things to never happen because you're simply not there. Now, another thing people always say is, oh, P80s, those are cheap pieces of crap. Guys, P80 is one of the most pro 2A companies in the world. They are constantly in lawsuits with the ATF. They are constantly fighting one part of our government that can't stand the fact that we own firearms. This is a company you should be supporting and building up. And on top of that, this is more ergonomic than my regular Glock 43, and it runs 100% reliably. It also comes with a regular rail. This trigger that I have on it, all Glock internals, runs amazing. It's better than my regular Glock 43. So absolutely love these things. And you can take pride in the fact that you built it your own, or you could just get the serialized version with the perfect holes, and you won't have any malfunctions if you use OEM parts. Stuff like this, they say, is irrelevant because the Gen 1 through Gen 3 had issues, right? But this DB9 Gen 4 right here is over 500 rounds through it. Defensive rounds, ball ammo, everything. And that's a 6+1 setup. I literally had to run over 100 mags to get where I'm at today with this mag count. And it runs flawless, and it's a fun firearm to shoot. I love this thing. And it's only $250. How could you ever talk down on a company that is getting people reliable firearms for $250? You should be applauding them. Revolvers. I hear this crap all the time. 5 rounds? 5 rounds? Guys, 5 rounds of 38 special is amazing, especially for pocket carry, because I only pocket carry stuff like this in environments where I know generally that I'm not going to be in a area that is dangerous and so on. So absolutely love revolvers for pocket carry. The Bursa BP9cc, once again, a budget firearm. Yes, it is the same size as the Glock 43X, just much thinner, but it only holds 8+1 and 9mm. But this thing is a beast. It's reliable. It has a rail. It is super, super ergonomic, just like the Glock 43X. And that trigger is unreal. Now, it makes me a little nervous with how light the trigger is and no dingus, but this is a great firearm for a lot of people. Bursa makes great firearms. And this thing I've had for a while. It's dirty. It's beat up. I've shot it a lot, and I love this thing. It's a great range toy, great carry. Then they say my subcompacts. My main carry is a Glock 26. But this Stoker STR-9C, once again, falls in that budget category. but it is an amazing firearm for its size. It also takes all the larger Stoeger mags, and this thing's trigger better than a Glock trigger. Awesome flat face trigger, and this thing has been a great shooter for me. I actually really enjoy this firearm, which I'm going to talk about in another video, but I absolutely love this thing. I think Stoeger is doing a lot right, and if they're making reliable firearms, then what can anybody say about them? And I get that it's the internet, and I get that it's the trolls, but when you're passionate about firearms, you feel the need to just talk about the fact that you should want reliability and training over anything else. And if you've owned a Glock 43 since it came out, and it's been 100% reliable for you, versus buying the SIG when it first came out, which was plagued with issues, how do you justify that? I'd rather have 8+1 of rounds that are going to go off 100% of the time versus a firearm that's not going to let those rounds go off 100% of the time. It just is what it is. I'm taking old over new. I'm taking reliability over hype. It just is what it is. You guys can think differently. We're all entitled to our opinion, but I hope that some people start understanding why I carry how I carry and so on, and that a lot of thought goes into it. I'm not just being dumb and saying, oh, that's a cheap firearm. Perfect. That's how I'm going to carry. No. I put rounds through them. I test them. I make sure they're reliable. I do a lot of research on them. I learn them. I get good with them. That's what we do over here at Spin Firearms. Thanks for watching.